everybody, this is Skeet.
Mosh and Mikey.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Absolutely. Proudly presented by our friends at Moshman Media.
This week, yay or nay, top 50 rock bands.
Yeah. So we decided we were going to do, instead of making a list, we were going to take a list and give our take on if they got it right or not. And, in the past, we've dealt with Rolling Stone and we thought they were so far off that I said, well, I'm going to go look. And I looked at a few different ones. And I just found one called loudersound.com that had an article about the top 50 rock bands of all time. So we'll go through the 50 and we'll say, okay, yay or nay. Do they belong there? Are they too high? Are they too low? What we like, if there's some reason that we think they're not high enough, we give a little bit of an explanation, and we swing through these 50 and see where we compare with loudersound.com. Maybe we should have our own website, rankage. I don't
Yeah, no doubt.
We do that kind of, sort of, we just do other stuff too. Yeah, I think we'll start with this one here. It's Roxy Music at number 50.
All right, let's go down the list.
I'm sorry, but I have never in my lifetime heard Roxy Music.
Okay.
So I have to say nay, because I would think I would know them. I maybe I missed the boat on that, but
Yeah.
I know Brian Eno as a solo guy in the late 80s.
Okay.
During the whole alternative 80s phase, but I don't know. That's the only guy I know from the band. It's Brian Eno. So I've never heard of Roxy Music, so I guess maybe I should listen to it. But for now, I got to say nay.
Okay.
Because I've never heard of.
Well, I think I've heard the name, but I don't think.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
They don't really share a song, so I'm like,
yeah. Kind of the way I was. I was
maybe
like,
they fit. Maybe they fit good.
Well, I guess Brian Ferry's in the band too. Now that I'm reading it,
okay.
So Brian Ferry's another guy I heard as a solo guy.
Okay.
But they must have came from Roxy Music and like, okay.
All right.
They're just nay for me.
Yeah, I'm good. They're probably in a good 50 spot then, because I have no clue about these guys.
Because I can't. I'm just gonna say nay because they wouldn't be in my top 50. That's why.
2 nays. 49. King Crimson.
Oh man, I just can't get over all the people that just love this band, and maybe it misses me completely. Maybe I'm not that artistic or progressive or whatever. I would say, based on everybody's opinions of these guys, that's probably a fair place.
Okay.
It would be an A for me because it wouldn't be in mine. But again, got to put some respect on their name. A lot of people talk about them, so we tried to listen to them.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but it wasn't my thing.
I know this Robert Fripp.
Yeah, he gets a lot of press.
A few years ago, he was doing stuff during lockdown with his wife.
Yeah.
He was covering a bunch of songs and stuff. So for the talent that he's got, because he was jamming some good stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a talented guy.
I say that it probably deserves where they're at. The number 49 was good, but as far as that, I didn't really care for their stuff. I mean, there was some kind of cool stuff that they did, but it's just too intelligent for me, I guess.
Yeah.
How about
it's
that?
way too progressive for my stuff, I guess.
So we got
okay.
2 nays.
2 nays.
All right, ZZ Top at 48.
I'm gonna go yay on this one. I think that's a fair spot for them. I mean, I'm not a blues guy, but it's hard to not dance around to their music and the talent they have and all the hits and the longevity. Um, all the way back from the old stuff like Go Grange all the way up to Sharp Dressed Man. I mean, they did it for a long, long time, still doing it. So yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I'm gonna give that one a yay.
I'll give it a yay that they're on the list. I think they should be a little bit higher. I
Fair.
right now, from since we're starting from low to high, I'm hoping that they should have done them just a little bit higher, maybe in the 30s. But
Yeah,
we'll see who
we
else
might
is on the
yeah
list.
we might see some bands that say, "Oh yeah, they definitely ordered hell no."
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right. Ah, take this one, Mikey.
47, the Ramones, Gabba Gabba Hey. Uh, well, you know what, the Ramones. I don't know why they're on a rock list per se, but I guess if you're including, they might be including make punk in this too. I don't know. I haven't seen the whole list, but I wouldn't say that they're a yay for me as far as a band I like, but they're a nay for top 50.
Oh,
Just for
really?
me. Yeah, yeah. It's they're in their own genre, but there's so many rock bands that I would have classified rock in my mind that would beat them. But yeah, I mean, I give them all the love in the world, but they're punk. They're punk to me, and it's like I say nay on it, but that's yeah.
I
Surprisingly, yeah.
I'm gonna go yay. I think it's maybe a little higher, maybe 40 as far
Mm.
as bands for rock bands. They definitely would rank in the top 5 of a punk rock list.
Well, yeah, and as far as innovators of their genre, hell yeah, they'd
Yes.
be way up there. But it's just as a rock band, no, they're not for me. But yeah, to each their own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
46 Journey.
Journey. Boy, I tell you, it's a yay for me, but this is one I would probably have higher on my
Yeah.
list. Yeah. I think that's kind of low because of my listening pleasure.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of Journey all the way through Steve Perry, all the way from Greg Raleigh to Steve Perry. So, yeah, it's a yay for sure and probably should be higher for me.
Yeah. I kind of agree. We're going yay on that, and
Yeah.
I think Journey should be at least top 25
Yeah, I would
as
say
far as
there
we're
maybe
going.
yeah, 25, 30, easy. Easy for
Yeah.
me. So, and Sean he's a underrated guitar player too. So.
Yeah. Okay. Mikey.
Green. I mean, God, it's a super group. It's hard to say nay to.
Yeah.
But, I guess maybe if since we're doing of all time, I missed a boat on these guys, because they're late 60s, but the songs they do have, I mean, I'm gonna say yay. I'm gonna say that might be about right for
Okay.
them. I'd say that they're towards the back, but Eric Clapton's kind of a stud, and you got Ginger Baker, Jack Bruce, and they had some classic songs, but they just didn't have enough for me to make them like any higher than I would say they're probably 49 or 50 for me.
Okay. I'm going yay. Considering it's the world's first supergroup, that's
Yeah,
what this list considers them. Uh, they were only around for a couple years, but they really when they bust on the scene, I mean, they fucking tore it up.
yeah. I mean, I agree with that.
So I'm going yay, and you're probably right. That's probably a good 45 is a good spot for them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even a little few spots back, but I ain't gonna nitpick it. But yeah,
Yeah.
just the talent in the band got to be up there. So yeah, it's I didn't listen to them enough to give them much higher than that.
All right, here's
I think you can have the next one.
Motley Crue at 44. Yay on being on the list. Shit. I think they should be higher, but uh top 25, in the top 25 somewhere, and not super high, because they were pioneers pretty much of the hair band. I mean, there's a lot of people that have said, that's kind of where that whole movement started when Too Fast for Love come out. So
Yeah,
the 44, I'm going to say no. Top 25, probably. Any higher, maybe not. It depends. Like I said, it kind of depends on the list. We're going blind on this, folks.
yeah.
So,
It's just whatever comes up. So I would say yay on top 50, but I actually don't mind the ranking here.
okay.
As far as overall, I mean they're definitely big in the hair metal genre, the glam metal,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it. But depending on what else is on this list,
Yeah.
will kind of distinguish if I think they should have been higher or lower. But I'd say they're okay right now.
Yeah. All right. Mikey.
Well, Rainbow. Now, Rainbow, one of those bands that was under the radar, but I know my older brother loved Rainbow. He was a big Richie Blackmore fan, though, and it's like yeah, Dio was in there for a while. I mean, they had some great stuff. I didn't listen to them enough, but I still say they definitely could be they would definitely be in the top 50. I'd say this is fair.
Okay.
I give it a yay, and I say this is fair for them.
I have to concur. I concur with that, yay. And I think it's a pretty good spot. I don't think that's a bad
Yeah,
spot.
yeah. I think with the guys they had in the bands at set different times and stuff, I would say yeah, it's a pretty good spot for them. And
Well, and considering, he formed it after Deep Purple.
yeah,
Richie Blackmore started this after Deep Purple, so he had quite a legacy going already. And then to go into Rainbow for that, and plus he had Ronnie James Dio, so yeah,
yeah.
I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, I definitely, but yeah, even after Dio, he had Graham Bonnet, which is no slouch, and then you had Cozy Powell in there, and then
Yeah,
you had Roger Glover from Deep Purple come in on bass. So yeah, it's a good spot for them.
awesome. This one's yours, Mikey.
Pearl Jam. Uh, yeah, this is my lines get blurry about a lot of things with them today, but going back to the first say 3 albums from Pearl Jam, they were kind of high on my tier of bands back then, and Eddie Vedder, his vocals are very distinct, and they've been around forever. They've got a good fan base, so yeah, I'd say they probably belong in the top 50. Maybe this is a good spot, or a little bit further back as far as total bands, but yeah, I give them a yay for being in there. Yeah.
Definitely a yay, and maybe in the 30s. Well, again, we'll have to fucking see how this list plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, right now it's not a horrible placement. So these guys here doing pretty good job so far ranking. I mean, they're being pretty fair, so we'll see how it gets as we go down the line. And as we say that, who in the hell
Is
is
Marillion.
Marillion? I don't know. I
Uh,
can't tell you.
I have no clue.
Progressive, progressive band. It says it's like a classic album, Misplaced Childhood, in 1985. How did I miss that? That's like my bread and butter years. That's my teenage year. So I think this has got to be some kind of European thing. This
Okay.
has to be like an English band or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, it
But
says
I'm
Berkshire
oh that
in
I
79.
say I can't say no hard enough on this one because I don't know. There's a nah. If I've never heard of a band, they should not be in the top 50 of anything because
Okay.
I've listened to a shit ton of rock music in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And so
Uh,
I'm gonna say nah on this one. Big nah. I don't even know that I've heard any of the people in the band. I don't even.
yeah, I've no clue. They had in 2022 they released An Hour Before It's Dark.
Well, that might be like one of those Virgin Ears episodes we got where we have to pull a
Yeah.
Marillion out
Yeah,
of
you'll
our
have
ass.
to make a little list of some of these bands that we haven't heard of and have to give them a
Yeah,
listen.
yeah, Marillion, and what was the other one? Oh, Roxy Music. We have
Yeah, yeah.
that's two that we've never heard of.
All right. I'll go nay on that because I don't know it. I don't know. Maybe they're in a
Right?
good
Yeah,
spot. Maybe
yeah,
lower.
maybe. Hopefully, we'll add them to the Virgin Ears list.
Here's another one. Status Quo at 40.
Nah, I can't even say. I mean, it's not. This is again like an England thing. And a lot of English bands came over here, but this is not one that I know a lot of. But to tell you what, they had 62 hit singles and appeared on more than 100 times on the Top of the Pop show over there. So they are
Yeah,
big in Britain. It's just I don't know enough to say I would put them in there. But they're going to be on the list because a quote from down here says, "What a fucking heavy band." So if I'm missing out on the heavy,
yeah,
I want to know about it.
yeah.
I want to know about it. So I'm definitely going to put them on the Virgin Ears, one of the top Virgin Ears.
Uh,
They opened for Leonard Skinner.
yeah, I see that in
Huh.
2019 for
So they've
calling
been
it
around for
quits.
56 years. They were
Uh,
there. So,
they called it quits in 2024.
yeah, so they did a long stint. So that's definitely another Virgin Ears for me.
Write that,
I
yeah,
want to
write
hear
that
that.
down. Write that one down. We need to do a little bit more
Yeah,
status quo. So apologies to anybody over
yeah,
across the pond that knows who
yeah.
status quo is.
Sorry. I mean, I was kind of locked into the '80s. When they were the other band
Yeah,
was out in the '80s, and I didn't know Marillion, and now I don't know this guy. I've heard that name, I swear, but
yeah.
I don't know.
They definitely deserve to be in the list as far as that goes.
Yeah, that many hits. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say
yeah.
they do, but
All
it's got to
right.
be a Nave.
I think this is one of your alley there, Mikey.
They're in the same vein as Deep Purple, but they got your Uriah Heep at 39. Now, I listened to Uriah Heep some. I wasn't like all over it, but I knew who they were. Very keyboard influenced. Uh, they reminded me of the time frame of Deep Purple in the early 70s. And they've had some people in the band that are probably quite relevant.
Yeah,
They even had guys like David Coverdale, Paul Rogers audition to be
yeah,
in them. So I know I've heard of Subwell's Hush, I think is the name of the song I heard. That was a big, big popular hit.
yeah.
So I would say I'm going to give it a yay, but maybe at 50, maybe 49, 50 for these guys because they are the deep purplish kind of era. So I didn't grow up listening to them, but I know I've heard that name a ton. They've still touring. I think they did with shows with Judas Priest a couple years ago.
Nice.
So they're still, functional. So I'm gonna say yay just because they're in that zone, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath kind of uh mode. And they probably just got swallowed up a little bit. But I'm gonna say yay, but maybe maybe a 10 back, like 49.
Okay. All right. Definitely need them on the list, but I kind of agree with you on that. So I'll go
Yeah,
yay on the list and probably a few ranks lower.
yeah.
All right. 38. Chicago.
Chicago. Oh man, I mean they're good. I actually love the yacht rock kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go see these guys this summer for the first time in 40 years or whatever the hell it's been. But no, I think the early stuff was better. Like Saturday in the Park, 90624 or whatever it is. That weird song, but it's a good song. But
25 or 6 to
Peter
4.
Cetera, yeah, 96-4. And Peter Cetera era had all the big hits. And then
Yeah.
the guy after Peter Cetera, Hard Habit to Break, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. I'd say they might be back there with Uriah Heep, but they
Uh,
definitely belong on the list. Even though they're a little yacht rock, they're still considered rock. So, yeah, they've been doing it a long time, 50 years, 60 years, whatever.
Early Chicago for me is also their better stuff. The 80s Chicago was good, but it just kind of it felt weak, kind of
Yeah, it
weak,
was. It
kind of
went so much
too
up.
ballady.
Yeah.
So I 38 is I think they should be higher.
Oh, well, it's different. I think they should be a little lower, but you know how I am about horn sections and stuff. I mean, it's
Oh,
cool
I
at
love that stuff.
times, but I just, I like it when it's done properly, and they do it properly. It's just not enough for me. I think yay, but farther back. And you say
Okay.
yay, but up
Now,
higher. So we're good on
all right. Here's
that.
yours, Mikey.
Yeah. I love some CCR, buddy. I love everything about the sound, even the tone. I don't care for the clean kind of tone of a guitar, but back then it was more common, and I liked Fogerty's voice a lot. I thought it fit them perfectly. Their songs got a little angsty at times. Definitely yay for me. It's higher than 37. They should be higher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say top 25 anyway.
I was good. I agree with you 100%. Creedence should be higher. Loved all their stuff. It's CCR, man. What do you say? Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Uh,
should be up in the 25, top 25.
oh yeah, easy, easy. Yeah, maybe even 20, but 25 for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. All right. The Doors at 36.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah. I gotta agree with it. I'll give it a yay, but I think that ranking's probably pretty decent right there. I wouldn't put them higher. I don't think I would put them lower. It's just, they didn't have the longevity you hope for, of course, because they couldn't. But what they did in that time frame was pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Uh, Kind of groundbreaking, poetic rock almost, what you call, like poetry rock. Morrison was absolutely voice was phenomenal, fit them perfectly. So the musicians were all great. So yeah, I say right there is probably a good spot for the Doors for me.
All right. I'm going to go yay, and I think they should be a little bit higher, top 30.
Fair enough.
Just because
Hey,
of what they accomplished in a short time. I mean, me personally, Manzarek is excellent on the keyboards and played bass when they didn't have a
yeah,
bass player join them in the studio for stuff. He was
yeah,
playing the bass parts all on the keyboards. So pretty much, Dinsmore on the drums. I think they should have been a top 30.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but I think the Doors could be a good one of those semi version for me to sit down and listen to a whole Doors album. I don't know that I've ever done it,
Oh,
but I mean,
really?
I know all their hits. Like, and the movie was great. I mean, I liked the movie, but yeah, it was. If you have a movie made about you, you're probably worthy of a top 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, but
exactly.
I really was a fan as a vocalist myself. I was a big fan of Morrison's voice. So yeah, it's definitely yay for me.
Awesome. All right. So, yours.
Whoa, my southern buddies, my Leonard pronounced Leonard Skinnerd. Oh, you can't deny Leonard Skinnerd, man.
Nope.
Southern rock, the Southern rock. When you think of Southern rock, that's the first name I think of. And the hit after hit after hit. Unfortunately, another band that got taken too soon, but they kept going with the remaining members and stuff. But they have some of the best classic songs of all time. 35's a little high for them. I think they should be top 25, top 30.
Okay, I'll agree with that. I'll
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, I think 35's kind of it's not really a travesty, but for me, my personal listening experience and what they do for Southern metal or Southern rock, I should say, yeah, they should be at least top 25, maybe around there. So definitely, yay, move them up.
Yeah, I agree. Once again, I concur. 35 is kind of low for what
Yeah.
for. They were good. That's all I could say. They really were good.
Yeah. 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 They were good. Still good. I mean, hopefully I get to see them pretty soon. Yeah.
No
So,
doubt. Uh 34 Slade.
one of these bands under the radar here, but man, did they have some hits. They had some good stuff. A lot of people like to copy or cover their songs. So, top 50 though, I can't get there. It's a nah for me. I mean, I respect them and all that, but for my personal top 50, I wouldn't even remember them if they
Yeah.
weren't on this list. So, yeah, I got to say nah for me.
Uh I like Slade. I like a lot of their stuff. They kind of were out there with the glam rock.
Yeah.
So I would say Sweet would probably go higher than Slade.
Yeah,
So
again,
it
you're talking English
yeah,
bands here. They might be they're a lot huger than in England. We know that.
yeah,
Since
yeah.
it's from our list, my personal list, they wouldn't make the top 50.
I think they would definitely be in the top 55. Like almost get into this list.
They'd be top 100 for sure. For
Yes,
me,
definitely
top
top
100
100.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go nay on Slade. I love Slade, but yeah, I don't think they should be this high on the list.
No, I don't think so either.
All right, Mikey, you can take this one.
My God. I mean, it's number one. They didn't even have the courtesy to put his band name on there with him because he's not the band. He's the singer guy from the band. But I like early Bruce Springsteen, E Street Band. I do like, Thunder Road, that kind of stuff. When he got into the 80s doing the popular stuff, the more rock, soft rock, whatever. But I do like songs like Glory Days and, you know, uh, Dancing in the Dark stuff. I do like it. I can't sit here and deny it. The last couple things he put out, I didn't care for, but man, he's iconic in his own right. I'm gonna say yay, but dead smack 50. No, you know what? And that's just because of the band itself. I'm going to say right outside of 50. So I'm going to say no, but nay. But I mean, as far as an iconic person, he'd be top 50 probably. American culture, of course, he would be. But as my personal top 50, I'm going to say nay. Top 65 maybe for me, around there. I would have to make my own list to know for sure, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I might piss
Uh,
people off, but I'm going to say nay on it.
I'm going to go nay. Uh, E Street Band is phenomenal. His backing band has been
Oh
phenomenal.
yeah, Max
Uh,
Weinberg, Clarence Clemens, all them guys. I mean,
33.
Stevie.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no, no way in hell.
Top
33.
50. I'll let that slide. But
I'm saying,
33.
yeah,
Yeah, no. I didn't. It was certain songs for me. Just certain songs I
yeah,
liked, and pretty much I think he's fucking overrated.
yeah. I mean, back in the day, it was a lot. I thought Thunder Road, Born to Run were a lot better of songs than even Dancing in the Dark, which I liked, but it was so mellow, and just
Well, I just them touting him as the new Bob Dylan. Fuck that.
yeah. I don't, I
Nah,
don't get into the songwriting doesn't blow me away at all. It's just he's a good performer. I mean, I give you that and all that, but yeah, that's outside the 50 for me. I don't care.
yeah. All right, this one's yours, Mikey.
Ah, man, you got to be a special kind of person, and you got to have a special palate for a band like Tool. You really do. I mean, it's so kind of weird and strange, but it kicks in great. They got, Danny Carey, one of the best drummers of all time. You got Maynard, who is definitely a songwriter kind of savant. I'm going to say for greatest music of all time, for me, it's a nah. It's just maybe 51, 52, but not the top 50 for me. I can't get there. Uh, there's a lot better progressive bands, in my opinion, but they might all be on the list too. I love some Tool, but I don't follow. I don't think it's the best thing since sliced bread. So I say outside the 50, but no disrespect or anything. It just
Yeah.
for me, it's our ranking. We're trying to rank it on our personal preferences too. So for me, it's just I like them, but don't like them enough for top 50.
I'll give them a top 50, but I think they should be in the you know mid 40s, mid
I mean, that's
40s,
fair. That's not too
because
far
they
off.
are they have come out with some crazy stuff. But again, top 25, no, top 50, I'll give them that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, barely outside for me, but
Well, I think the musicianship kind of puts it.
oh yeah, the musicianship's undeniable. There ain't no doubt.
Fleetwood Mac at 31.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it why they're there. I also think Stevie Nicks is like one of the best rock female singers of all time. I've said that. Her and Christine together were pretty impressive. Band was good. Iconic songs. Lindsey Buckingham, Uh, Silver Springs is still one of my favorite songs. So I'm going to say definitely a yeah. I was just debating on where they're at, but I think that's pretty fair. I think that's a fair spot for them. I say yay on both
Okay.
for me.
I was going to say right outside the top 25.
Yeah, it could be, but I think that's fair right there.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you
Not
that.
knowing, not not knowing what's coming, I'd say
Yeah.
that's fair. But I mean, like if I'm just putting if we're talking albums and it was rumors, no, that'd be a travesty. But the
Yeah.
band itself, 31's fine.
Okay. All right. Uh
Oh, come on.
it's yours, Mikey.
Oh, the hate I'm gonna get on some of these. A lot of people, it's one of those. Nirvana is one of those bands. You love them or you hate them. There seems to be no in between. And I thought Nirvana was the biggest, baddest thing on the earth planet for a while there. For a little bit. Um, they're definitely on the list, but I'm debating on the 30. You know what? I think they should be maybe 40. I mean,
Really?
they just, yeah, I mean, because, like again, their longevity got cut short. But really, you think about it, they only had three solid albums. Well, the Unplugged, if you count the Unplugged, which was amazing,
Yeah.
then you got four albums. But then the songs they come out with, the hidden ones that were not released, they come out after Kurt's death, weren't as good to me as In Utero was, or as Nevermind, or as Bleach was. So yeah, I'm gonna say that might be okay. 30 might be all right. But they're definitely a yay and debatable about the spot, but that's pretty fair, maybe. I'll just stick with it's pretty fair. I'd say 30 is okay.
I was kind of going to say the same thing. I top 30, number 30, Nirvana. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good spot.
It's one of those things where, they kind of kick started a genre like you talked about Motley Crue doing. They did it
Yeah.
for grunge. So yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Judas Priest at 29.
Yeah. Ooh.
Uh,
Definitely a yay. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, yay. Um,
God damn, I don't know, man. 29.
I got to
Uh,
move them up a few slots. I mean, I
yeah.
think be
Yeah.
top 25 at least. Just give them a little bit more love. So I'll go top 25, but a yay. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely belong there. Maybe a bit higher.
Still out touring, so maybe
Yeah,
that'll put him
yeah.
up to the 24th spot, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere around there. We're shooting for it. So,
Metalworks is probably one of their greatest collections of all their songs, like cherry picking
yeah,
the best. That's if you know if you want a good album to get, Metalworks hits all the hits. You know,
yeah. I have that. So, yeah, I can attest to that it's a
yeah.
very good thing to have at home. So,
All right, let's
scroll away.
Genesis.
No. I like Genesis. Don't get me wrong. I like some of Genesis songs. And God, you got Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, all in the same band. But man, I just didn't think they were as they're not in top 50. No, 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 nowhere near top 50 for me. That's a nay
Okay,
on top 50.
I'm
Maybe I
gonna.
missed some great shit, but I'd say nay.
We're gonna have to pull a Peter Gabriel era Genesis and give an album a listen, because I did not listen to them until Phil Collins, and they were a three piece. Honestly,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I like their '80s stuff, but I don't think their '80s stuff puts them in the top 50.
all their solo work is better, in my opinion. So that's why I just can't put them in the top 50 as a group. Now,
Yeah,
separate as solo performers, if we did a top 50 solo performer, it'd be hard to keep Phil Collins out. It'd be hard to keep
yeah.
Peter Gabriel out for that matter. So, yeah, let's say nay.
Okay, kind of agree on that then. Motorhead
I like
27.
I love me some Motorhead, but that's to me, they're
Too high.
definitely in too high.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even know if they make the 50 for me, man. I mean, it's like it's hard to say that, but they would toy with it. But I just depending on all the bands I've listened to more in my life that are more influential for me, even though I love some of Motorhead's stuff, I do. I just can't get there on top 50 for these guys. So it's a nay, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Lemmy, but it's a nay.
I'm gonna go. They definitely don't. They're not. 27 is too high.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll put him. I would put him in the top 50, but it's gonna be. They're gonna be way lower.
Okay,
And
that's fair. I mean,
I just I there's some Motorhead that I like. There's some Motorhead that I don't. They were kind of a anomaly onto themselves.
yeah, yeah.
They definitely would be in the top 25 heavy metal bands.
Well, they're like, yeah, I call them speed rock. That's what I
Yeah,
always considered them, like
yeah.
speed rock, almost thrash rock. They weren't
So
quite metal, but yeah.
for just the hard rock or the top 50 rock bands, no, but for the harder music, definitely that would be a good spot. Say the top 50 hard rock, thrashing type bands.
Yeah, they'd make the top 50 for one of those for me, but they won't make it for this one.
Okay. This one's yours, Mikey.
Now, how in the world does anybody rank the fucking Foo Fighters ahead of Nirvana? I just don't get that. You got two of the same members, basically, because Pat Smear was in Nirvana enough that I considered him the fourth Nirvana guy. These guys are catchy, they're all that, but they're in for me. They're a yay, but boy, they're in the 40s. They're at least 20 spots back. I mean, I like a lot of what they do, but it's just you didn't do enough to get top 20. They're almost in the top 25. Come on, come
Yeah,
on. They're not going to be ahead of Nirvana on any planet that I'm in. So I'll put them in, but I put them back at 40 or so.
I'm
Right.
gonna go nay and nay on the spot, and I don't even think they're top 50. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. I listen to them a lot because of my Nirvana influence, I guess. So
Not
I
the
mean, I
top
do like their
50.
hit songs. I like Dave Grohl, even though he can be kind of you know, as a person, he'd be kind of out there a little bit. But I like his vocals, and so yeah, I that's fair. That's fair if you don't want him in the top 50 because it's one of
I
them
just,
things.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
good.
it's
They're
hard. All these
enjoyable, but
bands,
I,
it's
I
like
don't think there's enough top. I don't think there's enough hits to put them in the top 50.
yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, that's absolutely fair. It's like I said, I was a little more influenced with them because of my Nirvana stuff, but
Yeah.
there's still nowhere near 26.
U2 at 25.
Ooh, man. U2 is one of those, they get a lot of hate from a lot of people, and they also get uh, a lot of people give them too much credit.
Yeah.
I think what they do in the middle is good. Um, man, I love the Joshua Tree album,
I was
like
just
one of
gonna
my
say
favorites.
that.
I even love like the War and stuff before that, and the songs they've had the hits like One and Beautiful Day. They get hate for that, but I mean, honestly, and Bono he gets a lot of hate. But anyway, I'd say yay, but not 25.
I agree.
Back them up some. Yeah,
Uh, top 50 for sure.
probably hanging on
25.
the edge. Yeah, not a
25.
chance.
No, no. The early U2 for me was really good. I really enjoyed
I,
the early U2. Uh,
I'd say top 75 for me. I'd say definitely yay. They belong in a high list somewhere.
Bono is a douche.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The Edge is fucking cool. He's a cool dude. So I guess they
Yeah,
kind of cancel each other out.
they get a little monotonous. I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't care. The Joshua Tree makes up for a lot.
Yeah,
Makes up
it
for a
does.
lot.
It does.
So yeah, I'm okay with putting them outside the top 50.
Oh,
They're still
fuck.
good there.
Bon Jovi at 24.
Come on now. Come on, loud and sound, whatever the hell it is. Man, no way. No way are they 24. They had the string of good albums there for a while, but then they became like nothing but ballads. And none of their stuff is later. I'm going to say, yay, they're a great band, but they're top 100 for me. They're not
Okay.
top 50.
So you got Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen are on this list, and they ranked Bon Jovi higher than Bruce Springsteen.
Well, they ranked them higher
I
than
like
Nirvana.
I like Bon Jovi more than Bruce Springsteen, but top 24
I
in a
just can't.
24 spot, nah. Let's
I
take
can't.
them back a
I hope.
lot further.
I'm saying they're not top 50, maybe top 60. I would say maybe top 60 for me. But, somebody out there is going to get this bright idea to have us make a list. You know that. And the how hard it is. So I guess I can't give Loud Sound a
Too
bunch of
much
grief
crap.
because louder sound, if I offended you, I'm sorry, because it is a tough thing to do. Man, I just can't put them top 25 anyway. If they're top 50, it'd be 50, but it'd probably be 60 for me or so.
They definitely deserve a top 25 spot in the top hair bands.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, definitely in the top
Definitely.
hair band.
But
Yeah,
for,
definitely.
yeah, just for the top 50 rock bands, nah.
Yeah,
I'll go yay on the list, but fucking not 24. How about that?
yeah, no, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair, I
Yeah, not 24. Oh, Mikey.
guess. Man, David Bowie is not my wheelhouse. He's just not. I liked Major Tom and the Ziggy Stardust stuff and Fame and all that, but I was more into Bowie with Let's Dance, that kind of stuff in the 80s. The Dancing in the Streets with Mick Jagger was an abomination. They should have never done. But, Under Pressure, stuff like, I mean, God, he's got a lot of iconic stuff. I just can't put him in the top 50. I think yay, but I'm going to say he's one of my top 675. I mean, I don't want to put them all in the top 100, but for me personally, I don't think he would make a top 50 list. I just didn't listen to it enough to understand maybe the genius that people say that he is. Like I said, I listened to Spiders from Mars and Ziggy Stardust and all that, but man, I didn't love it like I did the 80s China Girl, man. I'd rather listen to that. And so I'm saying nah because it's just no, I say nay.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
That's fine.
I dug fucking Bowie, and but I will say the '80s Bowie and some of the early hits from the '70s. You know what I mean? Fame
Yeah, I like
and
Fame. Heroes. Yeah, I mean, I dug a lot of his stuff. Maybe I was too harsh, but if I made a list from scratch, I don't think he would make my top 50s. What I'm
I god damn top 50, but not as high. How about that?
saying. Okay, that works for you. Yeah, I say top 75 anyway. I'd say he would be in there.
Changes,
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you can name
changes.
all the hit songs, but it just wasn't my you know, overbearing thing to where I loved it. So yeah, I can get some hate. I can take it. Thick skin.
Thin Lizzy at 22.
Way too high uh, for me. But man, they had some good stuff. Phil Lynott was an incredible guy. The Whiskey in the Jar cover, the original cover or whatever you want to say. Boys Are Back in Town, Jailbreak, all that good stuff. They're they would be my top 50, but they would be pushed back probably 20 spots.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. I think they should be up there. I wasn't a huge Thin Lizzy fan, but who hasn't heard Boys Are Back in Town? That got overplayed.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
But top 50 definitely. Little too high on the rank.
Yeah, I get it.
Bob Dylan at 21.
I do not get the obsession with Bob Dylan, but I know why. I mean, songwriting back then, he was a big songwriter. I don't know why they keep putting these solo artists on this. It's supposed to be a band, kind of thing. So I'm going to say nah, just because if I'm doing a list of bands, I wouldn't put a singer songwriter on it. Eh, Not no disrespect. I mean, I know he's got times they are changing, and all along the Watchtower, and that strange voice he had, unique voice, I should say. Definitely a songwriter, great songwriter, but no. Got a movie about him, like I just contradicted, but I said any band that had a movie about him should belong in the top 50. This is a solo guy. I don't know anybody in his band. I don't know any of them.
I,
So I'm saying nah on that premise only, really.
okay.
I don't, it's not good enough for me.
I'm gonna go yay and lower on the list because he is an icon.
Yeah, like I said, it's just not. That's just purely because it's not a band to me. It's a singer
Okay,
songwriter
I got you. Ah,
guy. This one, I mean, it's Jimi Hendrix and the Experience. Okay, so this is a little different because I don't think Bob Dylan had a backing band name that I know of.
no, not that
Maybe he
I
did.
know of.
Maybe he did. But Jimi Hendrix and the Experience. I was just talking to a buddy of mine about Jimi Hendrix, and he watched the guitar episode we did. And
Okay,
he wasn't in agreement with Hendrix being that high. He's a
okay,
guitar player too. And the only reason was he said he was pretty sloppy, which I do get. I told him my reason for liking Jimi Hendrix so much was his emotional part of it. He played with a lot of emotion, slop
yeah,
and all. Um, Again, a guy cut too short. You really don't know what he would have done. I'm going to say yay on them because of him and Mitch Mitchell. The drummer was a phenomenal guy. Playing jazz shit back here. So I'm going to say yay, but I'm going to say nowhere near 20. Maybe, probably top 40 for me.
okay,
40-ish, maybe even lean towards 50. But I definitely on the list, but not 20.
okay. I'm gonna go yay and a little bit farther back, maybe 25.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
Get it?
he was just a hell of a guitar player, sang, played it lefty. It you know, burning the
Yeah.
guitar
Yeah.
and Star Spangled Banner. You know,
Oh, I get it. I get
he's
all that. I'm
icon.
just, yeah. There he is.
Uh, yes.
Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum. No. How's that? No, I mean, yes was what they were. They were definitely a pioneer in the progressive field for sure. Roundabout, you can't hardly go wrong with Roundabout. But I liked, Owner of a Lonely Heart era, yes, too. So it's kind of like they just wouldn't be in my top 50. I mean, yay, probably they should probably be on the list if I'm openly thinking of, you know,
What they've done.
what you brought to
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, but for me personally, they're great, yeah, influential, but they're not top 50 for me.
All right.
It's as close as I can get.
I'm gonna agree with that. I'll just agree with that. Probably in the top 50, but definitely not fucking 19.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah. All right, Mikey.
yeah. Huh. Here's one time that I actually disagree with the dude from The Big Lebowski because he was a big Credence fan, but
Okay.
he at one point said, "Man, I can't take. I fucking hate the Eagles. Well, I don't hate the Eagles.
No.
I like the Eagles. I actually love the Eagles for the most part. I think that they're struggling to be considered rock. They're like almost like soft rock, but they did some stuff that was guitars and stuff. They're definitely yay. I'm just trying to think of the placement. You know what? I think I'm going to leave them. I think I'm going to leave them top 20 just for how iconic they are. And there's not an album I can name by the Eagles that stunk. There's some that I didn't listen to as much as other ones. Like I didn't listen to the Long Run as much as I did, say, a Hotel California. But man, you got to think of all the songs that you can't think of right now that if you heard them, you'd be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. It's like everything is talented, super talented all the way around. So I'd say yay and yay on this.
I'm gonna go yay and yay also. I heard a lot of the Long Run. Dad was a huge fucking Eagles fan. So
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Eagles, and I Desperado.
Oh yeah, Tequila Sunrise,
Yeah,
Seven Bridges Road. It's just like
oh
every.
yeah, definitely. So I think they're in a good spot. Maybe a little higher, just a little higher.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Aerosmith.
I mean, I like Aerosmith. Don't get me wrong. It's just they weren't my like anything I listen to on a daily basis. I've heard all the hits. Uh, I've probably heard Toys in the Attic all the way through. I've probably heard a couple other ones when it came out. Their style changed a little bit there towards the end. But man, I hate to. I gotta say, yay for sure. And I'd say they've almost got to be top 50. They really do. Um, Even though I might not love them personally, but I love them enough to give them the respect that they belong in the top 50. That's where I'm going to go.
I'm gonna go top 25, and I liked early Aerosmith. Again,
Yeah,
dad played a lot of Toys in the Attic.
yeah, I get it.
So, and then I liked Permanent Vacation and Pump when they came back in the 80s.
Yeah,
So they gotta really run DMC doing Walk This Way with them. They had
yeah.
that
I mean,
resurgence.
they had some great songs. I mean, I gotta admit
Yeah,
that. I mean, uh, they deserve it. Top
yeah.
50 for me.
This was yours.
Oh man, Kiss is too iconic. You can't leave them off the list. Now, was their music the best in the world? No, but they did enough to. I think they were solid, a solid rock band, and they definitely kick-started a big movement in the mid '70s. There, um, their later albums, of course, I didn't love, but you know what? When you've been doing it for 30, 40 years, so you're going to have some stinkers here and there.
Yeah,
Overall, they're definitely a yay, and they're probably top. I want to say top 25, top 30.
okay.
They might go back a little bit, but that's not unfair where they're at. But for me, it'd be a little bit farther back, maybe for me, but that's pretty close there.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Kiss should be in there. Uh, Definitely top 25. Definitely
Yeah,
top 25. Maybe not 16, but
yeah,
close.
yeah.
It's
That's
not.
what I'm
It's not a
saying.
bad
It's
spot
close.
considering everybody we've had in there. So
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to. I'm sure it's hard to do it with this list. So
Van Halen at 15. I'm going to go ahead and say that's not a bad spot.
I agree. I think that's a pretty damn respectable spot. That's probably one of the more right-on spots I've
Yeah,
seen so far.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just that's perfect. They did a lot, and they're iconic, and I think that's perfect. Hopefully we don't have any bands above them that really piss me off, but
Well,
but I'd say if nothing else, they might creep a little closer to the top 10
10. Yeah,
overall.
I was going to say
But
maybe top 10. Yes.
I would have almost said 15 in my own brain. So I'm
Okay.
thinking that's a pretty good pick there.
Well, I mean, and you know how much I love Van Halen, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm
That's
trying to
being
be
fair.
impartial, but I can't be impartial. Yeah, it should have probably been in the
Yeah,
top 10.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Oh fuck. Yeah, they definitely fucking outranked this one, Mikey.
Yeah, Def Leppard, they're great. They're a great band. They did it. They've been doing it for a long time. Earlier stuff again, one of those deals. I'd say all the way up, even for me, all the way past Hysteria. I liked them a lot. Um, Kind of went off after that, but nowhere near 14 for me. Hair metal or 80s bands, yeah, definitely, but probably 30ish.
Okay.
Not shouldn't be ahead of Van Halen. No,
No.
no, no, no.
Nope.
I don't believe so. Just overall, no.
They
Oh
dropped the
yeah,
ball
that's my
there.
yay and yay, but not that high.
Yeah. I'll go yay and a lot lower.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair. Again,
The Who.
man, that's again. I think this is another good spot. I really do. Yay and yay because can't deny the Who for all they did. Their songs, I love all their songs. Bob O'Reilly's one of my favorite all-time songs. They did the quirky rock opera. They did, and everything you could do. And not to mention four of the badass band members. I mean, when Keith Moon was there, Keith Moon, Entwistle, Townsend, and Daltrey, that's stacked, man.
Yeah.
And they deserve 13 easy for me. Maybe even
Good.
bump them up a couple, but
Yeah.
13 easy for me.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I love The Who. And I'd almost go top 10.
It's hard not
Somewhere in
to.
top
Yeah,
10.
that's why I was debating that myself. It's hard not to.
But again,
It's,
I liked Van Halen more than The Who, but
yeah, but
I
yeah.
think The Who ranks a little higher than Van Halen. How about that?
Well, like then again, we'll have to see who else is on
Yeah.
this list.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, this is a fucking no, 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 no.
oh God, what is this?
You put Guns N' Roses ahead of The Who? No. I
No
love
way
Guns
in
N'
hell.
Roses. I love Guns N' Roses, but they
I
should
mean,
be in the top 25, maybe 30.
yeah, they're pushing top 50 for me, man. I mean, I like Guns N' Roses, but I don't get what everybody else goes. For a debut album, oh yeah, they're 12 there.
Yeah,
That would have been perfect spot for like Appetite. Oh, debut albums of all time. Probably even got in the top 10 with it.
yeah,
Man, I just didn't dig the last few things they did, and
yeah,
Axel's voice is kind of shit. It's like just not my bag. I would be pressed to keep them in the top 50. I really would.
yeah.
Just wasn't my deal. So that's horse shit. Putting them ahead
That
of
is
who
horseshit.
and
Yeah,
who Van Halen. Maybe I mean not even Def Leppard for me. They
yeah,
shouldn't even be ahead of Def Leppard for me. But that's a bad choice. Louder sound. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Uh,
I don't
uh,
agree with that. Top 50,
respectfully
yes.
disagree.
Top 50, yes, but definitely not fucking 12. That's kind of
The
lame.
top 50 hair bands for me, maybe I'd say top 100 for them, but not the, this guy. I don't hate them. It's just not. I don't think they
Yeah.
belong up there.
Deep Purple.
Oh man, you know, again, we were born a little too late to fully recognize these guys. But they had some good shit, man. I mean, Smoke on the Water. Everybody learns
Yeah.
how to play Smoke on the Water. But my brother was a big fan of these guys, so I heard them a lot, and the talent was there for sure. Um, I'll say yay, but I don't see 11 for me.
Okay.
I see pushing back, but yeah, that's just my opinion. They're
Yeah.
definitely top. They're definitely top 50. They're definitely iconic.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go yay on the top 50 and not as high.
that's
I don't
yeah,
even know where to put them.
yeah. It's hard. It's hard to distinguish that.
Iron Maiden
But.
at number 10.
No, I love Iron Maiden. I do. Definitely a distinct sound. Great albums. Um, just awesome live shows. Ah, man, I don't know if I can put them top 10, but if I couldn't, it wouldn't be that far out. So yeah, I'd go yay and yay. I'd say it's kind of in the ballpark of where they should be, and definitely they belong on the list. So,
Okay. I fuck. Yay on the list, and this might be just a little high,
could be. That's
but
what I
not
say. It's
much.
like
Not much.
top 20ish for me, maybe. But
Yeah, yeah. I would go
yeah.
that. This just might be a little too high. We got to see who the top 10 are.
Well, it's also surprising to me that they put a lot of seemingly they put a few metal bands on here.
Yeah, it's cool
By
though.
by today's standards, are they really metal though? Because
Yeah,
maybe that's where they get the stuff. But that's fine. Yeah, I'd say
yeah.
that's close. Roll on down the road, see what we got in the top 10 here. We're in the top 10 area now.
All right. Number 9, Metallica.
Yeah, I mean they did enough to warrant top 10 probably. I didn't like the last couple albums, but that's just sometimes you lose favor with a band's style, and you just don't. I've never heard 72 Seasons or whatever the hell it is. I have never heard that. Never listened to the whole Death Magnetic album. I just didn't.
Really?
I was all the way up through Hardwired. I'd heard them all, and I'm the one oddball in the room that loves Saint Anger. Music wise, I don't care about that trash snare, but yeah, they definitely. I mean, man, they almost took over uh, thrash and hard rock there for a long time. They're still headlining festivals everywhere they go, arenas, baseball stadiums. It's like got to give them props. That's the A and the A. They
Okay.
That's not a bad spot at all. Actually, number 9 for me.
All
Comparable
right.
to see who's ahead of. Yeah.
Well, uh, I'm a yay. I'm a yay, but I don't put them above Van Halen. But that's me.
Well, that's just your personal preference.
That's my
I probably
personal.
would. I was a little more heavy, I liked a little heavier music, but the early Metallica against David Lee Roth era Van Halen,
Well, yeah, all right. I'll
probably
give you that. I'll give you
that would
that.
be. But yeah, once the whole body of work, I probably do like Van Halen better. But yeah, it's a fair ranking. Put it that way.
Okay. All right. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. You want to take that one?
Oh well, I mean the Rolling Stones at number 8. Uh, Man, they're just people love these guys, And there's not a whole lot of songs I can listen to and say I hate that. I got a little tired of Mick Jagger's way he does things. Um, Basic rock band. They're not extravagant, but every time they come, even their newest album, they had a single come out of that. I liked it. So there's always something. The Tattoo You album was one of my favorite ones from them. But again, if I was born 10 years earlier, I'd probably be in love with the Rolling Stone. I think it's fair. I think it's a yay and a
Okay.
yay
All
for
right.
where they're at.
I'll kind of agree with that. I'll give that. I like a lot of Rolling Stones,
I mean,
and
yeah,
it's
because
it's not a bad spot. It really
yeah, I
isn't.
mean, our list would be completely different than a lot of these, but when you're viewing a list made by a compilation of people, that's fair.
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
it's fair.
I'd say it's fair. I don't know if I put them above the Who. I like the
Yeah,
Who a little bit more than the Stones. How about
I
that?
did. I did too, as far as personal listening preference.
Yeah,
But the Rolling Stones did have fucking hits or
yeah,
ungodly amount,
yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Okay. Black Sabbath at 7.
It's pretty fair, I think. I think it. I think that's. I mean, Black Sabbath to me had some kind of suspect albums in the middle of the career, but nothing that was like enough to tank them. Um, a lot of people liked the O era. A lot of people liked the Ozzy era. A lot of people liked, the Martin era when they had that guy singing for them, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, the mainstays. Yeah, that's fair. Yay and yay.
Okay. I'll go with that. I kind of like that spot. I go
Yeah,
yay and yay. Number
yeah.
6.
I just can't. Ooh, Beatles. I was surprised. I really am surprised that I was almost certain they were going to be number one.
Okay.
I was almost certain because they are on most lists. I was not a gigantic Beatles fan, but everything I've heard of the Beatles I like, so it's kind of hard to argue. Man, as a rock band of all time, I'm definitely a yay, but I think maybe at least top five. I think that's kind of weird to have them outside the top five, but
Yeah.
that's not a bad. It's not a bad spot
No.
considering what we might have left. But yeah, for me,
Well,
I mean, they deserve as much accolades as they get. A lot of people think they're overrated, but for the times, man, they did some crazy
yeah.
good stuff in the time. So
Yep. I'm gonna go. I figured they'd be higher too. So would I rank
yeah,
them higher? Fuck.
for rock band,
Yeah, they probably should have been in the top 5 and not
that's what
6.
for a rock band, I would probably say at least five.
I'm wondering what the top 5 is gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of my thing. Is like, okay, what do we got
You
coming?
ready?
Shit show. Yeah,
Are you ready?
yeah.
Oh, ACDC top 5. Uh, I would say I'm good with it, but ahead of the Beatles, no, no, not
I'm
ahead
a
of the Beatles.
yay. I'm a yay on the band, but not five, not top five.
Maybe
Um,
10 for you, maybe top 10.
10, 10, 12, 15, somewhere around there. I mean,
Okay.
definitely top 15 back, probably max. But yeah, definitely not ahead of the Beatles at five. No. That one I can't agree with it, even though I like heavier music. So the Beatles would be less heavy. But again, man, the Beatles did so much. AC/DC
Yeah.
did a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's like, man, that's hard. But they had their reasons for putting them with. Just not for me. Top 10, maybe, maybe a top 10.
I would say I'm pleased with the spot.
Oh yeah.
I'm pleased with
Uh,
the spot
well,
personally,
I'm
but
not
not ahead
hating
of the
on
Beatles.
them. Hate on. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, not ahead.
Not ahead of the Beatles. Pink Floyd, number 4.
How do you put Pink Floyd ahead of the fucking Beatles, man? That doesn't make any sense. And we just did a thing on the Pink Floyd. I just
Yeah,
don't get the attraction to that. I mean, I know they're quirky and weird and progressive and blah blah blah. No way they're top 5 for me. Not number 4 for sure. I would say yay on the band itself, but they're way back for me, man. Move them back like 30 fucking spots or more. That's just for my personal listening, but I don't get it, the whole thing with Pink Floyd. I know they're got to base it off their history, probably the record
yeah.
sales. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
That's a not a good ranking for me there.
Okay.
For me.
I'm a yay, and I'm a further back, but I understand why they did it.
Well, I
I
understand
kind of
why they're
know.
there.
I got a feeling what I know. I'm pretty sure who they're going to put almost at number 1. I'm not going to call it now, but
Yeah. I would just say we just did this
yeah,
this thing on
yeah.
Pink Floyd, and it's like I just can't put them anywhere near the top 10 for me.
They're in the
I,
top. They're in the top. They could be a number 4 in the top classic rock bands any day of the fucking week. How about that?
yeah, maybe. I
But for
don't even
this
know about
list,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
wasn't.
not.
I'm a touch surprised by that,
Woo!
but
God
that's just
damn, I
me.
wasn't expecting that. Rush at
Now,
number 3.
woo, yeah, that is a surprise. It's a pleasant
Yeah.
surprise. Um, man, I mean, because they skip so many of the bands that I would have, but I'm just trying to think from bare bones rock music from everybody that's considered just rock, even not heavy metal like I would listen to, like Queensryche or something would be, but Rush in that spot. Let's say that they did their top 5. Okay, top 5. I'm agreeing with it. I'm saying yay and yay, but it's like my God, ahead of the Beatles. That's weird. It's just
Yeah,
weird,
I
and
wasn't
it's also
expecting that.
weird. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they beat Pink Floyd at least. That was definitely. But yeah, I wasn't expecting Rush there, but
No.
I'm not gonna bitch and complain and argue. I'm gonna say yay, yay. Why not?
Yeah. Ah, God damn. Top 10 for sure. I'm surprised they were 3.
Yeah. But like I say, we don't know the context of how they gathered this
Yeah,
list. I
yeah.
guess.
Because Rush is fucking phenomenal. So,
Yeah,
wow.
that was
Queen at
different.
number 2. Oh, fuck.
No. This must be, and I'm going to say it without knowing. I'm going to say this louder sound is an English publication.
Yeah,
It has to be to have all that stuff going on. But Queen is nowhere near number 2. Nowhere near. They couldn't hit number 2 with a stick.
yeah.
Just no. Yay for the band. Definitely probably top 50 for me. But man, nowhere near 2. Nowhere near. That's just crazy.
Top 10. Top 10. I mean, for
Yeah.
classic rock bands, I could put them in there with The Who and the Rolling Stones. And
Well,
what
and
I know what number 1 is now. I know it.
I
You
do
know
too.
it's
I know what it is now. Yeah, but I'm just saying, a lot of these bands, they're almost like teetering on the edge. Maybe this is more of a classic rock kind of list, but it just doesn't say it. But still, Queen's nowhere near 2, man. I mean, as much as I enjoyed some of Queen, I had a bunch of their stuff when I was younger, but no.
well, like I said,
Nowhere
Beatles,
near.
Beatles, and fucking
Rush was stretching it, but I
Yeah,
guess because
yeah,
personally I really like Rush. Queen, I like them, but man, there's no way they're two. That's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. I'd say they should have been a little bit lower on the list, but it's still
Yeah,
in
yeah,
top 10. I'll give them a top 10.
yeah.
And you know what
Well,
number one is? You ready?
it's yeah, I already
It's Led
know, dude. You don't
Zeppelin.
even have to.
You
Yeah,
knew that.
I knew that. Yeah,
You
definitely a
fucking knew
yay.
that.
You know, it's a
Yeah,
yay. Top number one? No, no. Probably top 10 for me. I mean, they're definitely. If I had sat down and thought about it from an honest point of view, they're definitely top 10. Even though I didn't rush out to listen to Led Zeppelin at every given moment, what I do listen to was musically very, very good. Plant was a hell of a singer. They mixed up genres quite nicely, from blues to psychedelic to rock to acoustic, anything they can do it. They're definitely strong. Probably even top 7, 8 for me overall. But man, ahead of the Beatles, ahead of
yeah. That's kind of hard to fucking.
yeah. I mean, hard
But
rock
I knew it.
bands.
I
Yeah,
knew it was coming. I knew it was fucking
yeah.
coming.
Once I seen the Beatles at 6, I didn't have a clue what the hell was coming
Yeah,
until because I thought the Beatles are usually one or two. It's usually Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. That kind of sort of battling it out for number one. Uh, yeah, that's a surprise. But Led Zeppelin being
yeah.
number one is not a shock to me per se.
No, no.
It's just I would have thought maybe Beatles at 2 or 3. I didn't expect Pink Floyd in the top 5 really, but I kind of should have. Uh, and a lot of the bands that are left out are like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
The best of you know bands like Guns N' Roses and that stuff making the list, and other bands that maybe should have made the list didn't make the list. That we would think that it should be there, but it's a group of people's opinion, and just
yep,
like ours is a two guys' opinion, this is a group of people, a magazine or whatever they are. And I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you guys suck," blah blah blah. You're not Rolling Stone. I think Rolling Stone would have had a lot worse list. Just because every list I've seen from Rolling Stone, I'm like, what the hell is this?
yeah. I
So
just
I give them props for putting a list together because it can't be easy.
no.
I wouldn't want to do one because I would forget somebody that really I have enough trouble when we rank guitarists, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I can imagine trying to rank full bands the whole course of music
Well,
from
I
60s.
didn't see them putting Rush as high as they did.
I
Honestly,
didn't either.
I
I,
didn't.
that was a shock. I thought Rush was a solid top 20 easy,
Yeah,
maybe top 10, but man, number 3, that's hot.
yeah,
Not it's good that they get some respect like that, but it's like the Beatles, man. I mean, the Beatles are, as far as overall, not artistic talent and all that. I mean, because Rush is hard to beat when
yeah,
you're talking talent playing and talent songwriting and talent. They'd be hard to beat anywhere. But overall appeal, man, a lot of people would freak out at that.
yeah.
Well, I'm not really freaking out. I just thought it was a surprise. It was definitely a surprise. So
Well,
I give, I give it up to.
yeah. I just
I,
my mind's like blown from that list.
yeah.
After going through it though, once we got to the top 5, it's like I know what they're gonna fucking put as number one. I knew it. It's gonna be
Well,
Zeppelin.
the top 6 was a surprise. And when I got to
Yeah,
6, I was pretty of the list. Oh, it's pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Number 6 surprised me, and it never got better. I mean, as far as not surprising.
yeah.
So yeah, I give it up to loudersound.com though for
There you
doing
go.
giving us somebody to compare with. And we're different, uh, probably different area of the world or even the country if they are American. Different part of the country, different age groups, I'm sure. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, They did their diligence in finding why they ranked them the way they did, and we said yay or nay and gave our opinions. That's all we can do. I think it's pretty fun going over somebody else's
Yeah,
list and
yeah, it wasn't bad.
trying to
Wasn't bad.
weasel it out. So
Still
it's different.
so shocked at some of them, but
Yeah, yeah.
all right, Mikey, you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, I think I am. I had enough surprises for the day.
All right, this is Skeet.
Russian Mikey.
See ya.
Peace out.